Okay, so for the second one, what we're saying is that I want you, or sorry, for the second video. Right, the third one of these that we're going to have a quick revision of. If I give you a cone like this and I tell you that I want you to put a sphere with a radius, so these are spheres, right, a sphere with a radius of 28 millimeters at 45 degrees. So we're going to come down. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do this on the left-hand side, just so you can see the difference. Okay, so if it's at 45 degrees, set your set squares up. Draw your 45-degree line out like that. Okay. And then we have our radius of 28. Now, what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to show you the other method we were talking about earlier. So if I have a radius 28, I can go parallel to this edge, 28 millimeters. So 28. And I can mark that off there like that. Now, the important thing is that you always need to make sure that you're measuring perpendicular. If I was to measure out 28 millimeters from here, you'd get a point slightly off. Okay. So once you have that, you can go perpendicular like this. Sorry, parallel. And then the next thing you want to do is you need to measure up 28. So 20, 38, 28 there. And you can draw that in there. So that's your center point. And or, as I said before, you can just bisect this angle here and draw your line up. All right. Okay. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start bringing this point down. Now, up to this point, I've drawn in that circle there to show the point of contact and everything else. You don't actually have to, is the part of this. You don't have to draw that sphere out here. Right? It is technically a construction. So what you could do is you put in your point of contact there, POC. And if you wanted to, just for the sake of showing it more than anything else, is you could just very, very lightly put in a portion of it there, just to show that you understand what's going on, okay? And that you know it's going to touch the base, all that. Right. What we can do next is we're going to bring this down to our horizontal line. Okay. Once we have that there, we can swing it around. Now, instead of going back and forth with the set squares, I'm going to bring down my point of contact as well. Okay. Now, so swing that. And I can swing this one here like this. And also go back up. I can get the radius here. I can swing that from my center point. And now, as I said before, this is the one you're actually keeping, so you can draw this one in heavy. And get your pencil, make sure you put in that you know that that's hidden detail there. This is the center of sphere 1. This is the point of contact. And point of contact 1, because there's actually going to be 3 points of contact in this question. There's going to be the point of contact for the sphere in contact with the cone, and there's going to be another point of contact where the sphere is in contact with C1 as well. Okay. So what you do then, bring that up, bring your center up. Okay. You can bring up your point of contact into its new place. Now, as I said to you before, what you could do is you could bring this point up, find where it hits the ground line and connect that, and see where the point of contact line and that line cross. Or the other way of doing it is just to go horizontally across from your point of contact, bring that line straight up. That's where the real point of contact is, so POC 1. So that's the same point of contact, just in different views. Okay. And we have our new center point is here, and again, that goes in heavy. Alright, and this again is hidden detail, because that appears behind the sphere. Alright, so we have that much. That's nearly that much of that question answered. Right. The next thing they have is they tell you that there's a sphere to go in that's in contact with the cone and in contact with the sphere and has a diameter of 30. So if it has a diameter of 30, what you can do, you can measure up your 15 millimeters, find the center point. Because remember now they've said diameter. It's very important to pay attention to this. Now what I'll say to you as well is bring that height line all the way across. Okay, because you're going to need that on both sides, and I'll explain why in a second. Alright. First thing you're going to do with this is you're going to find where that sphere is in contact with this cone here. So you're going to bring it down, and you're going to bring where the center point is out here. You're going to bring it around. The problem is you don't know where to stop. To find where to stop, you'll have to find out where that sphere is also going to be in contact with this sphere. So you're going to draw it out here in contact with the sphere, bring it down, bring it around, and where those two lines cross over will be the center point. Now, just to give you an idea of what's happening here, right? If I grab another pencil there, and find where to put it. Okay. So what's happening here is, if we move up, I'm just going to do a little sketch of what's going on. So you have the cone, like that. You have this big sphere, and you have this little sphere. Okay, so this is what the image at the end that they're looking for. They want the big sphere, they want the cone, and they want the little sphere touching both of those. What you're doing by bringing your lines around is that you're taking the cutting point here. So if I was to imagine that the point of contact was around here, I'm cutting that cone at that. So that's where the point of contact is. And I'm going to cut that across and bring it around and see where the point of contact is. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm cutting this at the same height. So, not my best sketching, but it should just do the job. Okay, so you're cutting this as well. And you're finding your point of contact over on the sphere as well. And cutting it and seeing where on that round of the sphere is the point of contact. Okay, it might help some of you picture it. If it doesn't help you, alright, ignore it if you understand what's going on over here. Okay, so if we go back to this. Okay. Alright, as I said, what we need to do is we need to draw the sphere over here, and we need to draw the sphere in contact with this, find out where they both are, and bring it around to find the center point. So, how do you do that when it's a sphere in contact with the cone? You do exactly the same thing you've done on the side. Right. We'll bisect this angle here. Alright, as I said, it doesn't particularly matter which way you do it. Okay. Find where that center is. And once you have that center, you can bring that down. So this is C2, center point 2. You can bring that down to there. And you can rotate that around. So that's where the center is. Okay. What you can also do from this point is you can bring down your point of contact. So perpendicular to the edge to the center. There's the point of contact there. So we can bring this down to the edge there. And again, rotate it around, but we're not entirely sure where that stops yet. Okay. So all of these lines so far, they've been going down the way. Down. They've gone, this one actually went up. This one's gone down. We've gone down and down. Okay. So my arrows are just so I find it easier to follow. Now, this is the part we haven't done yet. How do you find a sphere in contact with another sphere? So I've told you already that it's a diameter of 30. So what you do is you take this radius here, 28, and you add 15 onto it. So adding 15 on, we're going to have 38 plus 5, 33. Sorry, 43. Okay, measure that out. Now, what you do is you're adding the radius, because they're touching somewhere at this point, right? Kind of go back to your circle theory from your junior cert. Right, if you swing this arc here and cross it over where the 15 is, and that's actually the center of your circle. Okay. And how you find your point of contact is, again, go back to kind of your junior cert theory. Measure from your center to the center. And this point here is a point of contact. Right. So I have my center point. Again, I could draw it in. Alright, and I can draw in just a portion, because again, we know that this isn't where this sphere is actually going to end up. I can draw it in either really lightly, or I can just draw in a portion. Alright, now something's gone wrong there. This distance here should be the same as this distance here, because they're the same sphere. So, one of these has gone wrong. And the one I'd say has gone wrong is my measurement here. I've probably just done that a little bit off. Okay, so if I check this again. That's a bit better. Okay. Right, so there's that. One like that. Now, what you'll do, same as you've been doing with the cone, it's a round object. Right, we've drawn it off of the edge just so we can see what's happening with it. So you're going to bring this point down to the edge. Okay, you're bringing the right one down. Once you have that one there, you can draw in your curve, bring it around. I know I've gone a little bit off the camera there, but we just brought this curve down and around. And this point here is the center, C2. Okay, measure your radius over there. And put in your circle in your plan. Now, circle is going to be hidden detail this time. Or your sphere, rather. It's going to be hidden detail there, but it sits over the edge of the cone. Alright, so the bigger circle will sit over it. Just make sure you know that. But the smaller sphere will still be sitting over the edge of the cone. Okay, you can see that here if you're looking for a comparison. So the point of contact is under the widest part of the circle. So therefore the circle, the small C2, is under the big circle. And over here, C2 is over the edge of the cone. So it's over the edge here. Right. Next thing you're going to do, and the last thing you're going to have to do with these questions, is where the point of contact. It's actually quite easy to do. All you need to do is join your center to the other centers. Okay. That's going to give you the location for the point of contact here. So POC2 is that one. We need to bring down our point of contact here like we've done before. The point of contact is there. Bring that down, wrap it around to where it hits here. That's point of contact 3. So I said to you earlier, you're going to have 3 points of contact. POC 3. Okay. Last but not least, you'll need to put this up where it belongs in the plan. Now, or in the elevation. Bring your center point up. It's sitting just a little bit to the left of center. Copy your radius. Okay. Right here. Okay. So this appears in front of the entire object here. Right. This sits back a little bit, so that's why there's a little bit of overlap here. But what's actually going to happen is that the sphere is actually behind the smaller sphere. And you can see that because the center point here is in front. So then this one will obviously be behind. Okay. So turn off one of the lights there and see, does that make it better? Let's see what's going on. Okay. All right. So use this now. Finally, and the last bit, that's all it is. Your point of contact. You need to bring him over, or her, whatever you want. So this is the point of contact. And that was on this line here. So there's your POC2. And your third point of contact will be if you join from center to center on the spheres. That's what you do with the spheres. Join from center to center, and then you can bring it up just like this and find out where it hits. Right there. POC3. Okay, so for any solids in contact question, you need to highlight all the points of contact. Contact, okay. Very, very important. All of the points of contact. And 2, the other really important thing with the solids in contact is your hidden detail. All right. 3, last but not least, temporarily anyway, making sure that you have your construction circles. Constructions in general, right, we'll say. And last, I might have said that a sec already, last is making sure that you have the objects in the right place in plan and elevation. Alright, so you would have lost marks here. If we had gone through all of the effort now to put this circle here, it's a C2 here. C2. Alright, if we had gone through all of the effort to put C2 here and we never put it into the elevation, you just lost marks for no reason. Okay, so that's that one like that.